All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our January 23rd, 2025 Planning Commission meeting. I call this meeting to order at 9:01. Could we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you very much. We do have to administer the oath of office. I believe we have somebody here that will help us with that.
Good morning, Maria Valadez, Registrar of Voters. I don't know if you guys want to stand over here, and then we could do the. I'll have you all raise your right hand, please, and then you'll repeat after me. I'm going to ask you to state your name. Please state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations. And I'll have you,
I've never gotten a photo with you.
That's always been the
Terrific, thank you. Okay, great. Great, terrific, thanks.
If I can have you guys sign the oath, and then I can let you get on your business.
You done? Oh, sign.
Sharon. Oh, let's do it on here so it doesn't. Oh, I'm gonna have to.
Okay.
I'll have to get you to do this one again, so it's okay. We'll have them signed in if anything. Baltzylwin? I know I'm butchering that one.
I am. She did it upside down.
And Everardo? Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, moving on. We will hold the election of the chair and vice chair. With that being said, do we have any nominations from the board?
I will nominate Commissioner Eduardo Chavez for chairman of the board.
I will second that.
And for vice chair?
Vice Chair?
Sure.
Okay, I will also nominate Commissioner Zoller for District 5 for vice chair.
Can I second that? All right, I'll second that motion, and yeah, I'll do it. Thank you. All right, so we have a, did we miss something? Okay, so we have a chair and vice chair for the year 2025 Planning Commission. Thank you. So we'll swap seats, I guess.
May I ask a question just before we get started, in our, to kick off the year? Mike, oh, thank you. Just to clarify, the rules of business, how we're going to conduct business, are we going to be using Robert's Rules of Order to do our business?
The Planning Commission bylaws state that we use Rosenberg's Rules
Oh.
of Order.
Okay,
And I'd be happy to, if anybody wants them, we can definitely supply you with them, as well as the Planning Commission bylaws themselves, which also talk about when we meet, how decisions are made, and our basic normal processes like that.
that would be really helpful. I know Robert's Rules I'm not familiar with, the other guy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Check. All right, moving on to our next item, verification of legal notice.
Yes, Mr. Chair, the item was properly noticed.
Thank you. Then we have a consent agenda to approve the minutes from December 12th, 2024 Planning Commission meeting.
I will make the motion that we approve the minutes from the December 12, 2024 Planning Commission meeting.
Second?
Motion passes. And if there is any public input, I see nobody here in the chambers, but if there's anyone in the Zoom that would like to give us some public input on an item that is not on today's agenda. All right, thank you. So moving on to our first timed item, our 905. Consideration of proposed major use permit, UP 23-07, and mitigated negative declaration, IS 23-14, for an 80-foot monopine wireless communication tower with 35 feet by 35 feet. Lease area containing support equipment for the tower. The applicant, Public Safety Towers LLC. The location will be 3275 Hill Road, Lakeport. The APN is 005-015-41.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Today I'm presenting to you the major use permit UP 23-07. The applicant is present via Zoom. The project proposes an 80-foot tall monopine communication facility that consists of 15 antennas, 15 radios, 3 surge suppressors, 3 antenna mounts, 30 kilowatt diesel generator, 150-gallon diesel fuel storage tank, and a battery backup system. The project location is approximately 487 feet west of California State Highway 29, approximately 125 feet north of the PG&E Power Substation, and approximately 615 feet from Burger Lake. The zoning designation is Agricultural Scenic Combining District, Floodway Fringe, and Waterway. The general plan designation is Agriculture and Resource Conservation. It is within the Lakeport Planning Area and Supervisorial District 4. The project is located on a flat portion of grassland area on the parcel. There is no proposed tree removal. There is a mobile home and a few accessory structures located approximately 761 feet to the west of the tower location. The tower as proposed will be 80 feet in height, and these are the simulation photos provided. The regulations reviewed for compliance was the Lake County General Plan, the Lakeport Area Plan, and the Lake County Zoning Ordinance. The project was analyzed with the Lake County General Plan under Public Facilities and Services.
1 second. Sir, would you like to take that outside? All right, think we're good to go?
Thank you. Lakeport Area Plan, we analyzed it with under 3 objectives, which is objective 3.4.1, to protect important scenic resources in the Lakeport planning area. The proposed cell tower has a monopine design to make it look like a tree and is set back from Hill Road approximately 530 feet. It is outside of the scenic combining district boundary. Objective 4.3.1, to reduce threat to life and property from structural and wildland fires. The Lakeport Fire Protection District has provided comments outlining the specific requirements that need to be met for this location. These requirements include having separate reflective addresses for the tower and the residents on the property, a driveway that complies with Public Resources Code PRC 4290 regulations for access to the tower, and proper location for storing fuel for emergency backup generators. All the necessary conditions specified by the Lakeport Fire Department will be incorporated in the conditions of improvement, attachment 2 of the staff report. And objective 5.3.1 is to improve community communication access while mitigating the impacts of new facilities. The proposed tower will be made to look like a tree with a monopine design. This project also is for the public use for cell phone towers. However, in the event of a declared emergency, public use will be throttled and emergency services will be prioritized. So their cell phone reception will be prioritized over regular public. We analyzed this under Article 5, agricultural. Article 27, uses generally permitted. Article 36, floodway fringe combining district. Article 37, waterway combining district. Article 41, performance standards. And Article 71, regulations for the placement of communication towers and antennae. AB 52 tribal notification. Notification of this project was sent to all 12 local tribes on September 5th, 2023, and consultation was not requested. California Environmental Quality Act, a mitigated negative declaration is the proposed CEQA environmental determination for this project. All identified impacts can be reduced less than significant with mitigation measures implemented. Public comment period occurred from December 6, 2023 to January 5th, 2024. The mitigated negative declaration was missing some critical information and was recirculated from September 26, 2024 to October 28, 2024. Mitigation measures are outlined in the staff report attachment 2, draft conditions of approval, and attachment 3, the draft initial study. The CEQA initial study found that the project could cause potential impacts to resources with aesthetics, air quality, biological resources, cultural resources, geology and soils, tribal cultural resources, and wildfire. The recommendations today is the environmental recommendations is to adopt mitigated negative declaration initial study IS 23-14 for use permit UP 23-07 with findings found in the staff report. Major use permit recommendations is to approve the use permit UP 23-07 with the proposed conditions of approval and with the findings found in the staff report. Any questions or comments?
Any questions?
There were 2 letters from neighbors, one of which was worried about the lighting. Has that been addressed sufficiently?
Yes, so all of the comments that were provided from the neighbors, I was able to answer all of their questions, and at the end of the day, they ended up supporting the project. Because this project is 80 feet tall, it's not required to have lighting on top. And if there is any lighting, it would be downcasted and it would just be on the tower.
My other question was about the scenic vistas. There were some questions about that. Has that been worked out so it
Yes,
doesn't? Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Yeah, I also saw the same letters. It was kind of broken down in the staff report regarding the lighting on page 12. That any exterior lighting except as required by the FFA, which doesn't apply, shall be manually operated and used only, or any lighting around the 35 by 35 that will be manually operated and used only during night, if there is night maintenance required.
Correct.
So it's not going to be like on all night. So that was one of the things that I noticed as well.
Yeah, so the comments that were provided, again, I had answered all of the questions and comments that the public had, and at the end, they supported the project because it was not going to impact them tremendously.
Thank you. So if there's no other comments, I'm going to bring it, open up public comment for the project. So if anybody wishes to speak on this item, you may do so. If anybody in the chambers here would like to speak, can we take a look in the Zoom room?
No hands in the Zoom.
I do know that the applicant is present via Zoom, and I believe that they want to give a presentation.
If the applicant is there, would you mind raising your hand and we can get you unmuted?
Is the applicant Mike?
Yes.
So Mike, please accept. Go ahead, Mike.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mike. I'm with TEP on behalf of PSTC. Originally, we were going to provide a short presentation of what our project is, but Trish did such a great job. I'm just going to be repeating myself or repeating her. So I think our presentation on our end isn't necessary. Everything was addressed extremely adequately on our end. So we do appreciate Trish's efforts. In regards to the comments about lighting and the concern there, like Trish mentioned, we're not going to provide any lighting. As far as the FAA, our height limit doesn't require us. And then for the tower itself, it's not beneficial for us to light anything. So if anything, there would be some manual lighting within the compound, but we're not as far as the ground equipment, but that's going to be just for maintenance. There's not going to be standing lights and lights on consistently in the evening. So that shouldn't be an issue. In regards to aesthetics, we've done our best to essentially provide, a photo simulation of what it will look like, and then the branch densities for that monopine itself. And then we kind of strategically picked that location because there's a group of trees there. So we're hoping that, visually it's going to blend into everything. But I guess I just really wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to everybody for attending this meeting and giving our project, a good lesson.
Thank you. And just really quickly, Mike, would you mind saying your first and last name?
First name is Mike, last name is Moon P. Puck.
All right. Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Thank you.
All right,
We also have Maria Khan. Maria, it's okay. We will allow you to talk now. Okay, go ahead, Maria.
Okay, can you hear me now?
yes.
Yes, we can.
Hi, I'm Maria Khan, and I just had a question about what recourse would the neighbors have if they start experiencing health issues from these towers near their properties? I noticed that one of the commenters, the public commenter, said it was about 200 feet from his house. And so I'm wondering, once this goes up and those people may or may not be, they start experiencing health issues, what recourse do they have in that instance, or help do they get from the situation? How are they protected?
Also, just to clarify your comment, the note says 200 yards, but regardless, your question still, if the applicant would like to answer to any of that.
regards to health concerns, our project and all the equipment that's going to be installed will be compliant with all FCC regulations. So from our perspective, we're adhering to all radio frequencies.
Okay, but again, if they start experiencing problems, is there any course of action that they can take with AT&T or with the FCC or someone to get help from the effects that they might be experiencing? Because it is radiation, it is radio frequency at a high level, and
Commissioners, if I may.
can disrupt people's body. So I'm just asking you, is there anything that they're going to be doing after the fact once you get this put up? How are they protected?
Commissioners?
On our end, as far as everybody's health, that is a great concern of ours. We can't attest to saying that, oh, if somebody falls ill because of, X, Y, or Z, be it because the tower's installed, be it because of the tower or not, we can't really speak to the health concerns there. We're meeting all state regulations and all federal regulations in regards to the frequencies that we're going to be emitting.
Okay, I have one more question. According to the Telecommunications Act, is there any way for this project to be taken out of service if it is proven that people are experiencing harm from it? Or is that once it's up, it's there and there's no way to remove it? That's my last question.
All right.
In regards to,
yeah, excuse me. I believe there's one of the conditions that if it's not used for 12 months, I believe, that it would have to be dismantled. But that, I don't know if that really answers the question.
Commissioners, if I may.
Yeah.
Feedback. The county itself is not an authority that has control over those issues. Those issues are preempted by federal law. So the federal agencies that regulate these sorts of uses have created a threshold for emissions and have deemed those to be safe. And as long as this project meets those thresholds, the county cannot take into consideration any potential emissions or claims for health risks. That would be something that the individuals who feel they are suffering from that would have to address on their own through some other action. The county would not have authority to regulate based on that. And Chair, if you were referring to the lapse in use rules under Chapter 21, if a use, barring something else being put, some other term being put into the permit itself, if a use is stopped for 2 years, then the use is void. So anyone wanting to re-engage in that use on that location could not rely on the prior permit approvals. They would have to reapply. But that's a 2-year term unless there is something within this particular permit that says that it's different. And my understanding is that there is, so it might be shorter for this permit. But for that time frame, if the use ceases altogether, then the use approvals become invalid. And the applicant here would, if they wanted to reuse the tower, would have to reapply or meet the conditions of the permit for the cessation of the use.
Thank you. Maria, did that answer your questions?
Can you hear me still?
Yes.
Okay. Well, no. Well, actually, am I correct in saying that once these towers go up, they're all federally controlled or held? Our county has no recourse to pull them out of service if they're showing any signs, even if they're operating and there's no lapse in service or whatever. Does our county have any ability to pull them out of service once they're put in?
The county would have the ability to apply their use permit penalties if the permit or if the permit itself is being used incorrectly. But that is but any potential, well, I'll say this. So if federal or county laws are violated, then yes. However, the county has a very narrow scope in that as to what rules it can apply and find having been violated. So if you're referring to potential health risks or claims that people have a health impact from any cell technologies, the county doesn't have, I mean, there's a threshold, and it's highly unlikely that this tower is going to violate that threshold. However, if they do, there may be potential recourses or potential recourse the county may have. However, the bulk of the regulation comes from the federal regulations. So, and if they violate federal regulations, presumably there are elements in the permit that says if they violate federal regulations, then the permit can also be revoked. So in that sense, the county has some authority, but the county is preempted in this moment from regulating health effects below a certain threshold. The federal agencies responsible for these kinds of technologies have deemed a particular threshold to be healthy and safe, and we do not have the authority to change that.
Wow. Okay. I would just caution you on putting too many of these around our county, because we do have quite a large live, a beautifully diverse biological scene happening out here. And I think too much of this radiation will adversely affect us. So those are my comments and my concerns. I know I'm just one voice in the wind, but I think it's important that we think about the long-term effects of these towers being placed all around our county, and then our ability not to remove them, or our lack of ability to remove them, I should say, for the health and safety of our population. So I would just throw that caution out there, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for your input and for your comment. It's appreciated to have the public involved in the things that we do here. So thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any more hands in the Zoom room? All right, seeing no more hands in the Zoom room, and I believe nobody here in chambers wishes to speak on this item, we would bring it back to the commission for action.
I'm ready to entertain a motion if there's no other discussion.
I'll second that.
I move that the Planning Commission adopt mitigated negative declaration IS 23-14 for assurance development on property located at 3275 Hill Road, Lakeport, APN 005-015-41, based on the findings in the staff report dated January 23rd, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? None. Motion passes.
Okay, I move that the Planning Commission approve major use permit UP 23-07 for assurance development on property located at 3275 Hill Road, Lakeport, APN 005-015-41, based on the findings and subject to the conditions in the staff report dated January 23rd, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Note, the applicant or any interested person is reminded that the zoning ordinance provides for a 7 calendar day appeal period. If there is a disagreement with the Planning Commission's decision, an appeal to the Board of Supervisors may be filed. The appropriate forms and applicable fee must be submitted prior to 5 p.m. on or before the 7th calendar day, following the Planning Commission's final determination. Thank you. And moving on to, we have non-timed items. I believe we have none. And department update.
Thank you. Maria Turner, Community Development Director. For the update today, I just wanted to let the commission know that we have 3 new staff members. 2 are in code enforcement, and that's Jason Gordon and Logan Smith. And then we also have one new plans examiner, Zachary Zerba. He is taking the place of Jack Smalley, who moved up to our chief building official a little while back. We have a current opening for office assistant level 3. You're familiar with Ruby, who's done past meetings. She has moved over to the accountant technician position. So we're excited for her in that new role. The OA3 position supports the zoning administrator meetings, the cannabis ordinance task force meetings, and does a number of clerk and admin related supportive duties for planning and anybody else. Those are the other duties as assigned. We keep him or her busy doing a number of those things. And that concludes my update today, except for I did send a friendly reminder to our new supervisors that we are eagerly anticipating their choices for planning commissioners for District 1 and 4. Just to help take a little bit of the pressure off. I know we all have really busy lives and sometimes it's hard to make quorum, so I'm staying on them. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the department update. And like I said earlier, we're very excited to start a new year in the Planning Commission. And we're looking forward to having those new planning commissioners hopefully soon. With that being said, I call adjourn this meeting at 9:33.